Hi, this is Di. Let's talk about TanaCon. If you do not know what TanaCon is, welcome to the club. I had no idea when I left for VidCon what TanaCon was, and this is how I found out. Regan and I stayed in a specific hotel. We stayed in the Marriott Suites Anaheim. Little did we know that there was also another event. We found out because the night we arrived at the hotel to check in for VidCon, we were riding the elevator up to our suite, and there were two people already on the elevator. A gentleman with blonde hair and an earring riding a Segway, and a lady with like brown hair and kind of a pony riding a Segway. And they were not doing well riding the Segways. They were in fact giggling their heads off about how funny it was when they tried to ride the Segways. We were riding the elevator up and you couldn't help but giggle at these two nearly falling off the Segways. And we said, hey, how are you guys doing? And they were laughing, oh, we're doing okay. And we said to them, oh, we're going to VidCon. And they said, oh, and actually, it was the blonde guy. He said, I don't know how I feel about VidCon. We said, really? And he said, yes, because I'm planning TanaCon. He explained that there was going to be an alternate event that folks who didn't want to go to VidCon could attend at our hotel, TanaCon. It was hosted by Tana Mojo, and that Shane Dawson would be attending. So Regan and I rode the elevator up. I have a little footage here. And got back to our room, and I immediately Googled TanaCon because I had to figure out what is this thing. So I look up TanaCon, and it says that Tana Mojo, who is a 19-year-old YouTuber, she had not been invited to be a featured guest at VidCon, and this was the second year. In fact, she had been banned from the general VidCon event because when she did attend, she had so many fans that mobbed her and it was a security risk. To her credit, there was kind of a conundrum that she was in. She wasn't invited to be there, but if she attended, she drew such a huge crowd. She found herself quite upset about this. And so a month prior to VidCon, 1 month prior to VidCon, she promised to throw TanaCon, an event for her fans. She would have, you know, a stage and an event and meet and greet and get to meet her fans. She invited other YouTubers to be a part of TanaCon, and that is when Gabby Hanna and Casey Neistat and Shane Dawson signed on. I looked over the event. The VIP tickets, which were $65, were sold out. The free tickets were also sold out. But Tana had told folks that if they just showed up with their VidCon badges, if they cut them off, she would let them into TanaCon for free. I thought about, gee, I may have some time. TanaCon was going to be, if VidCon's 3 days, and it was going to be the last 2 days, and I thought, it's my hotel. If I had time to meet Shane Dawson, I'd be totally up for it. I considered, TanaCon might be interesting. So we had a normal VidCon day, and then they started kind of decorating our hotel for it. The night before TanaCon, they put TanaCon on the elevator doors, and we walked into our hotel lobby, and there was a cow. They had gotten an animatronic cow. They had also gotten a unicorn. Insert picture of unicorn here. In fact, when I talked to Dan and Crystal, they had seen the unicorn be delivered to VidCon. VidCon say, nope, not our unicorn, and get sent away to Marriott Suites Anaheim to place the unicorn there. So TanaCon consisted at this point of some signage and, you know, the unicorn and the cow. I woke up the day of TanaCon, the second day of VidCon, and headed out to the event. I needed to get my car out of the parking lot, and a line had already formed of primarily young women waiting to get into TanaCon. And so I will show you pictures of that line. I shot a little bit of Instagram story, but I don't have it anymore, I don't think. But they were literally lined up next to my car waiting to get into TanaCon. I had to get them out of my way so I could pull my car out to get to VidCon. And we went through our day, and I was enjoying VidCon, doing the normal VidCon stuff, and we started hearing rumblings. There were tweets that TanaCon had been shut down, that it had been closed, that it was no longer a thing, and that was by noon. I have some video here of me finding out. I'm just like, oh my gosh, TanaCon. That's when it started getting names like FailCon. And then it's just been pointed out it was TanaCon. So we'll go into more of that. So TanaCon was shut down. We came back to the hotel and the parking lot was trashed. The people in line had just left garbage all over the ground. There was just, it was a pig pen. It was really legitimately a pig pen. We came back and there was a lot of security at the back of the hotel, and we told them that we were guests, and we came back and some of the signs were still up for TanaCon. Some of them were spray painted, some were mashed. It didn't look great. And I gotta tell you, the facility was tiny. It was so small that we thought this must be very strange, because this is a venue for like 700-800 people. And there were more than 700-800 people in line. We headed up to our room and started doing more research about it. And they definitely did not have room for all the people that were outside. And then videos started surfacing of what had happened that morning at TanaCon. And I can at least show you some pictures. There were thousands of people outside, and there was no way there was room for that. There was room for max 1,200 people inside. We were not surprised it had been shut down. The next day, I saw that there were some of those gates, that fencing, crowd control fencing over at the Hyatt, and I thought they had tweeted they were going to move TanaCon. Maybe they moved it to the Hyatt. But I found out now that that was actually where most of the celebrities were staying. So they couldn't have TanaCon there. And you know, the celebrities were attending VidCon. And that was just a barrier so that fans who wanted to see celebrities and take their pictures were standing by it. So there was no way to move it to the Hyatt. So by the third day of VidCon, there was still kind of a security presence at the hotel. Everything was dirty, filthy, left from TanaCon. There was an inflated condom floating across our parking lot, and there was still a unicorn. So what happened? There was a sign posted at the front desk of our hotel, and actually there were a group of kids that were like encamped in the hotel lobby and refused to leave. There were kids that were trying, and when I say kids, I mean teenagers. There were kids that were trying to sneak onto the 14th floor where Tana was staying, and we had to watch security try to get them not to do that. And the sign posted at the check-in desk said that 15,000 people had unexpectedly shown up for TanaCon, that they had closed it down for fire marshal concerns, that they had promised a new venue the next day, but none of that ever materialized. There was so little communication. If I had paid or even had a free ticket to attend the event, I would have been really disappointed with the lack of communication. So what happened at TanaCon? Well, Shane Dawson, who had been the guest that I wanted to see, actually did a big like expose on it. And I will eye in the sky those videos in case you want to hear the whole behind the scenes, the swearing, the drama, the crying about TanaCon. But here's the brief version. And this has all come out, and this took several weeks. This took about 3 weeks for all of the information to come out. But the truth about TanaCon is, Tana Mojo, 19 years old, decided she'd plan an event. She hired a company 1 month prior to plan the event for her called Good Times. They're the ones who signed that paper. Good Times is, in fact, one individual, Michael Weist, W-E-I-S-T. I think that's how you say his name. The blonde guy on the Segway in our elevator. He was in charge of the entire event. He was younger than my children. He had 1 month to plan it. And he and Tana, in a video, agreed to sell 5,200 $65 VIP tickets in a venue that holds 1,000 people. He signed a contract. That ballroom holds 1,000 people. It was intentional when those kids were lined up outside. Was it 15,000 kids? No. The city of Garden Grove, where the Anaheim Marriott Suites actually is, has come out with their statement that there were no more than 4,000 to 5,000 people in that parking lot. And if you see a crowd scene, you totally know that's how many people it was. So, those people were stuck outside for 4 or 5 hours trying to get into the event. So what they did to move the crowd is push them into reception. The lobby of a hotel was full of teenagers who were getting ripped off. So they protested and they shouted, "Refund, refund," in the lobby. Their gift bags were a ripoff. I won't even go into how bad it is, which did include the TanaCon condom. And they were left outside for 4 to 5 hours. Girls got sunburned so bad. Oh my gosh, it was hideous. There was no food and there was no water at the event. They actually had guards on the Starbucks because they had way overflowed the tiny little Starbucks in the hotel with all of these kids. So it was just a disaster. Oh yeah, and Michael had used a ticketing company that had just been invented as well and signed a contract that in the event that TanaCon was canceled, they would not have to refund the money. Well, of course, that is not legal. And it is my understanding that all those kids have been refunded now. But TanaCon was the event that never was. But it never was in my hotel. Why? They had no more than 25 security guards. VidCon had $1 million in security. That's my take on TanaCon. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. God bless.